Hello, I'm Miss Kendall and I'm the Head of English at Lambeth Academy. On this slide you can find my email address, so if you have any questions after this PowerPoint, feel free to drop me an email and I'll answer any of your questions. The English language course involves two GCSEs, both studied with the AQA exam board. The first one is English language. This one involves two exams, both 1 hour and 45 minutes long. In this exam, your child will read a text that they haven't seen before, and then they will answer a series of questions based on this text. They will also complete a writing task, which will involve them writing for 45 minutes. We will have taught them the skills to do this during their lessons. The second exam is English literature. This is also two exams. One exam is 1 hour and 45 minutes long, and the second is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. For these exams, the students will have revised the text that they're going to answer the questions on.
Students will also sit a speaking and listening exam as part of their English Language GCSE on Thursday the 5th of November. This is part of their GCSE and will be on their results. For this, students will need to speak fluently for 3 minutes. Once they've delivered their speech for 3 minutes, they will be questioned by the rest of the class about their chosen topic. They will achieve either a pass, a merit or a distinction based on how well they speak. They will be told their grade immediately at the end of their speech. Students have now written a first draft of their speech. They will need to work on this over half term, make sure it's perfect, and then bring the final version in for the first lesson on Tuesday the 3rd of November. By this time, they should have learned their speech. Ideally, they'll know it off by heart. However, they can also use flashcards so that they can look at key information from their speech. You can help your child by letting them rehearse their speech for you and then giving them some feedback on how well they deliver their speech. Students will also sit a Language Paper 1 mock exam next half term. The text for this exam is unseen. This means they'll have never seen the text before and they'll be asked to read and respond to the text. To prepare students for this, one of the homeworks we've set them over half term is to plan and write part of a story. This prepares them for the second half of the exam. The best way for students to be prepared for this is to complete all of their homework, to read and to get into good routines in order to be ready for this exam. The next few slides cover some ways in which you can support your child to be ready for their Language Paper 1 mock exam.
The most successful students in the English GCSE are those who have good routines. So one of the best ways you can support your child is to remind them of their homework. We set 2 homeworks a week in English. The first one will be on a Tuesday. This will involve quotations for your child to revise, and they'll be tested on these the following Tuesday. We set a pass mark of 4 out of 5 because this means we send our students into the exam knowing their quotations really well. The second task will be set on a Thursday and it will typically prepare them for their masterclass. This will also involve a written response. To further support our students, we also run English support every Wednesday, 4:30 till 5:30 during Champions Hour. This is a really good chance for your child to get one-to-one help from an English specialist from anything from essay skills and key knowledge to being tested on quotations or supported with homework. Reading has the single biggest impact on GCSE English results. The English Language GCSE is really a reading test. Reading is just like a muscle, so if you don't use it very often, it is weak. This means those students who do not read really struggle with the English Language GCSE, where they're required to quickly read, understand and answer questions on a text. One of the single best ways you can support your child is to read with them or encourage them to read for 20 to 30 minutes per day. The best time for them to do this is right before bed so they can shut their phone off and really relax and enjoy a book. They can read fiction or non-fiction, but it should be something they enjoy and that challenges them too. On the next few slides, we have a reading list. We will also publish this online. These books are all modern books written in the 21st century, and they should all be accessible to a student with a reading age of 16, which is a student that is in Year 11. These books are all 19th century books. It's useful for your child to also read 19th century at home because they study Jekyll and Hyde, which is a 19th century text. If your child doesn't enjoy reading that much at the moment and you want to start them off with something small, it might be worth getting something like Frankenstein by Mary Shelley or 1984 by George Orwell. It's also useful for your child to read non-fiction as well as fiction. This is because in Language Paper 2, they'll be required to read and answer questions on a non-fiction text. Here are our non-fiction recommendations. For the English Literature GCSE, your child has been taught 3 texts. These are Jekyll and Hyde, Macbeth, and An Inspector Calls. For their English Literature exam, it's important that your child knows the key quotations, key knowledge, and key analysis to be successful in the exam. At Lambeth, we provide students with flashcards so that they can revise this. One of the best ways that you can support your child is to quiz them on these flashcards. Your child can make flashcards on key quotations. This would mean they write half the quotation on one side of the flashcard and half the quotation on the other. You could start the quotation off for them and then they could finish it, and you could tell them whether they'd finished the quotation accurately. They could also write a single-sided flashcard with analysis of a key quotation on it, and you could test them on this analysis. They might also want to use the revision guides that we've given them to write down some key knowledge or context from a text. Again, this could be single-sided and you could quiz them on this knowledge. Our students have also been given revision guides with essay plans in. Students can write these essay plans on their flashcards. They can be single-sided and you can test them on these as well. The Lambeth English Department is incredibly proud of the hard work and dedication students have shown so far in preparation for their most recent mock exam. If you have any questions about the next mock exam or how you can support your child at home, don't hesitate to give me an email. My email address can be found on this slide.